First Contact Protocol. The Galactic Institute of Xenobiology prided itself on being the most prestigious research facility in known space. Located in the heart of the Centauri Collective, its crystalline spires house the brightest minds from 1,000 worlds. But today, senior researcher Zax 427 felt anything but prestigious as they stared at the holographic display before them. "This cannot be correct," Zax muttered, their bioluminescent spots flickering with confusion. The data streams showed impossible patterns, predictors that defied every known model of predator-prey relationships. "Run the analysis again." The AI complied, but the results remained unchanged. Earth, designation Sol 3, had somehow produced a species that had not only survived alongside its planet's most fearsome predators, but had systematically dominated them all. Professor Zax. A soft chime announced the arrival of their research team. 3 junior xenobiologists entered the laboratory, each from a different species, but united in their dedication to understanding the universe's deadliest creatures. Clara with her crystalline exoskeleton, Nixus, floating on gravitic fields, and Ven, a colony mind housed in a humanoid frame. "Our preliminary findings about Earth require immediate verification," Zax announced, their spots now pulsing with academic excitement. "The human species has displayed behaviors that contradict every established theory of evolutionary development." The hologram shifted to display Earth's prehistoric timeline. "Consider this. A species with no natural weapons, no significant defensive capabilities, faced with megafauna that should have eliminated them within generations. Instead, they not only survived but thrived." Clara's crystalline form sparkled with interest. "Perhaps our instruments are malfunctioning. The readings suggest they actively hunted creatures many times their size." "The readings are accurate," Zax confirmed. "But that's not the most fascinating part. Recent data shows they've achieved something unprecedented. They've systematically subjugated nearly every apex predator on their world." The team gathered around as Zax displayed images of modern Earth. Lions in enclosures, wolves in homes, bears being studied in research facilities. Each image caused more distress among the assembled xenobiologists. "This violates fundamental laws of nature," Nixus observed, their gravitic field fluctuating with concern. "Predator species do not coexist peacefully with prey species. It defies basic survival instincts." Ven's colony mind hummed in unified disagreement. "Yet the evidence suggests humans have done more than coexist. They've established dominance while maintaining the predator species' survival. It's as if they've rewritten the rules of their entire ecosystem." Zax's spots pulsed with determination, "which is precisely why the Institute has approved our expedition. We will be the first xenobiology team to conduct direct observation of human interactions with Earth's apex predators." The announcement sent ripples of both excitement and apprehension through the team. Direct observation was rarely approved for Level 7 death worlds like Earth. The risks were considerable, but the potential discoveries could revolutionize their understanding of predator-prey dynamics. "Our mission," Zax continued, "is to document and analyze how humans have achieved this impossible feat. We'll focus on their major population centers first, where they keep dangerous creatures in controlled environments they call zoos. And we've received clearance from their governments." Clara asked, her crystalline form vibrating with anticipation. "Better than that," Zax replied, their spots forming patterns of satisfaction. "We've been invited. Human scientists are eager to share their knowledge of what they call animal behavior studies. They seem particularly proud of their achievements in this field." As the team began preparations for their expedition, Ven's colony mind raised an important question. What if our current classification of humans is incorrect? Perhaps they aren't the prey species we assumed them to be. The question hung in the air, causing Zax's spots to dim momentarily. "That's exactly what we need to determine. If humans have somehow transcended the traditional predator-prey relationship, it could reshape our understanding of evolutionary development across the galaxy." The preparation phase passed quickly, filled with equipment checks, cultural briefings, and endless safety protocols. Finally, the team assembled in their ship's observation deck, watching as Earth grew larger in their viewport. Remember, Zax instructed as they began their descent, "We're here to observe and document. No matter how impossible their achievements seem, we must maintain scientific objectivity." Little did they know that their carefully planned expedition would soon challenge every principle of xenobiology they held dear. For on the surface below, humanity waited to show them something unprecedented in galactic history, a species that had not only conquered its predators, but had turned many of them into companions, protectors, and friends. As their ship entered Earth's atmosphere, Zax made their first official log entry, Expedition Log, Earth date 2025-127. We begin our study of humanity's impossible mastery over predator species. Initial hypothesis: either every xenobiological principle we know is wrong, or humans are something far more remarkable than we originally believed. Perhaps both. The Hunter's Paradox. The San Diego Wildlife Conservation Center sprawled across several hundred acres of carefully maintained terrain. As Zax 427 and their team emerged from their cloaked observation pod, the morning sun cast long shadows across the facility's modern architecture. Their environmental suits hummed quietly, adjusting to Earth's atmosphere. Dr. Sarah Chen, the center's lead researcher, waited for them at the entrance. Unlike the terrifying predator the aliens had expected, she greeted them with a warm smile and a tablet full of research data. "Welcome to Earth. I hope you're ready for an exciting day." Calera's crystalline form sparkled nervously as a distant roar echoed across the compound. "Was that what humans call a lion?" "Yes," Sarah answered, checking her tablet. "That would be Reja. He's letting us know it's almost feeding time." She gestured for the team to follow her inside. "I thought we'd start with our big cat rehabilitation program." As they walked, Zax's bioluminescent spots flickered rapidly, recording every detail. "Dr. Chen, our records indicate that lions are among Earth's most efficient predators. Yet you work in close proximity to them daily." Sarah led them to a secure observation area overlooking a large enclosure. Below, a massive male lion prowled along the perimeter, his muscles rippling beneath his golden coat. "We maintain healthy boundaries," she explained. "But yes, our keepers work closely with them. The key is understanding their behavior and respecting their nature." Nixes floated closer to the reinforced window, their gravitic field fluctuating with anxiety. "And you've never considered eliminating these threats? Our records show they've killed humans throughout your history." The question made Sarah frown. "Eliminate them? No, that would be tragic. Lions, like all apex predators, play a crucial role in maintaining ecological balance. Our goal is conservation, not elimination." Ven's colony mind hummed with confusion. "But they are competitors for resources, natural enemies. How did humans achieve dominance without destroying them?" "That's a complex question," Sarah replied, leading them to her research station. She pulled up historical data spanning thousands of years. "Humans didn't achieve our current position through pure dominance. We evolved as persistence hunters, using our endurance and intelligence rather than raw strength." The aliens gathered around the display, watching reconstructions of early humans pursuing prey across vast savannas. The images showed small groups of humans, seemingly fragile compared to their quarry, yet relentlessly following tracks until their targets exhausted themselves. "Fascinating," Zax murmured, their spots pulsing with realization. "You were never truly prey species, were you? You were competing predators." Sarah's eyes lit up. "Exactly. But what made humans unique was our ability to learn from other predators. We studied them, understood them, and eventually found ways to cooperate with some of them." The team followed her to another section of the facility, where they observed staff members working with various predatory species. A veterinarian examined a sedated tiger, while nearby, a trainer worked with a rehabilitated wolf. "Your species seems to derive satisfaction from these interactions. Tellera noted, her crystalline form reflecting the afternoon sun. Is this emotional attachment not dangerous? It can be, Sarah admitted, but that emotional connection is also our greatest strength. It allows us to understand these animals in ways pure observation never could. We don't just study them, we form relationships with them. Zach's recorded this insight with particular interest. A paradox. By forming emotional bonds with potential threats, you gain deeper understanding, leading to more effective conservation and control. As if to illustrate this point, they watched a keeper enter a wolf enclosure. The wolves approached cautiously, showing neither aggression nor fear. The keeper moved among them with quiet confidence, checking their condition and distributing food. But surely this is an artificial environment, Nixis observed. In the wild, these creatures would behave differently. Sarah pulled up more data on her tablet. Yes and no. We've learned to work with wild populations too. Look at our wolf reintroduction programs or our big cat tracking initiatives. We're not just containing these animals, we're helping them thrive in their natural habitats. Ven's colony mind processed this information with growing appreciation. You've transcended the traditional predator-prey dynamic. Instead of simple dominance, you've created a new paradigm of coexistence. Though we haven't always gotten it right, Sarah added soberly. Our history with predator species includes many mistakes, extinctions we now regret. That's why conservation is so important to us now. We've learned that being Earth's dominant species comes with responsibility. As the day drew to a close, Zach's made another entry in their research log. The human approach to predator species defies conventional xenobiological models. They've achieved dominance not through elimination of competitors, but through a complex blend of respect, understanding, and controlled interaction. Most remarkably, they view these relationships as a source of pride rather than a necessary evil. The team prepared to return to their observation pod, but Sarah had one final surprise for them. Would you like to observe a feeding session up close? We've developed some enrichment activities that really showcase the lion's natural hunting behaviors. Zach's spots pulsed with both excitement and apprehension. Is it safe? Sarah smiled. Absolutely. After all, understanding doesn't mean we forget what they are. Respect for their power is part of how we work with them successfully. As they watched the carefully orchestrated feeding session, Zach's realized their initial hypothesis needed significant revision. Humans hadn't just conquered their world's predators, they'd created something entirely new in the process. The question was no longer how they'd achieved this impossible feat, but what this achievement meant for humanity's place in the galactic community. The domestication revelation. The research team's shuttle hummed quietly as it approached their next destination, the North American Canine Research Institute in Montana. Zach's 427 spots flickered with anticipation as they reviewed their previous findings. 2 weeks of studying human-predator interactions had raised more questions than answers. I still don't understand, Tellera said, her crystalline form vibrating with confusion. The Wildlife Center showed us how humans manage dangerous predators, but these dogs are different, aren't they? Dr. James Martinez, the Institute's leading geneticist, greeted them as they landed. His calm demeanor belied the excitement in his voice. You're about to witness something unique in evolutionary history, he explained, leading them toward the facility. Dogs aren't just managed predators. They're partners in humanity's journey. The facility sprawled across several acres, featuring both research buildings and large outdoor areas where various breeds of dogs interacted with humans. The alien team watched in amazement as humans and dogs engaged in activities ranging from simple play to complex training exercises. What you're seeing, Martins explained, is the result of over 30,000 years of coevolution. Dogs began as wolves, one of Earth's most successful predators. But through a process we're still trying to fully understand, they became something else entirely. Nixis floated closer to a window where a border collie was demonstrating remarkable problem-solving skills. You're suggesting these creatures chose to alter their own evolution. In a way, yes, Martins replied, pulling up genetic data on a nearby screen. We believe it started with less fearful wolves scavenging near human settlements. Over generations, those wolves that could tolerate human presence had better access to food. Gradually, they began to change, not just physically, but behaviorally. Ven's colony mind hummed with interest as they processed this information. A mutual benefit scenario. The wolves gained reliable food sources, and humans gained allies. Martinez finished. Dogs became partners in hunting, protectors of livestock, and eventually, family members. They can read human emotions, understand complex commands, and even anticipate our needs. The team moved to a genetics lab where Martinez showed them a fascinating comparison: wolf and dog brains. Look at these changes in the limbic system, particularly areas dealing with fear response and social bonding. Dogs literally evolved to understand and connect with humans. Zax's spots pulsed rapidly as they recorded this data. But this goes beyond simple domestication. We've seen domesticated species on other worlds, but nothing like this level of behavioral and emotional integration. Martinez nodded enthusiastically. Exactly. Dogs developed what we call social cognition, the ability to understand human gestures, emotions, and intentions. They can follow our pointing gestures, something even our closest primate relatives struggle with. They've essentially evolved to be experts at reading and responding to humans. The team observed a search and rescue training session where dogs demonstrated their abilities to find hidden humans and alert their handlers. The level of cooperation between species left the aliens stunned. These creatures, Clara noted, her crystalline form shimmering with revelation, they're neither fully wild nor fully tame. They've become something entirely new. And it doesn't stop there, Martins added, leading them to another area where therapy dogs worked with children. Dogs have developed an extraordinary capacity for empathy. They can sense human distress and offer comfort. They assist humans with disabilities, detect diseases, and provide emotional support. Nix's gravitic field fluctuated with understanding. You've created a symbiotic relationship with a former apex predator. But how did you prevent them from reverting to their predatory nature? Martinez smiled. We didn't. Dogs still have their predatory instincts. They're just channeled differently. Look here. He showed them footage of dogs working alongside humans in various roles: police work, search and rescue, hunting, and herding. Their predatory behaviors, tracking, chasing, working in packs, have been refined and redirected to serve human needs. But it's not just about utility. Dogs have developed a genuine emotional bond with humans that transcends simple cooperation. As if to demonstrate this point, a golden retriever puppy wandered into the room, immediately approaching the alien visitors with friendly curiosity. The team watched in fascination as the puppy's tail wagged, showing no fear of their alien forms. This, Martinez said softly, is perhaps our greatest achievement with dogs. They've become so attuned to humans that they've learned to accept whatever we accept. This puppy sees that we're comfortable with you, so it assumes you're friends. Zax made a careful note in their research log. The human process of domestication appears to be unique in the galaxy. Rather than simply taming or controlling predator species, they've created genuine partnerships that transform both species involved. The implications for evolutionary theory are staggering. As the day drew to a close, the team watched humans and dogs leaving the facility together, each pair moving in unconscious synchronization. We came to study how humans dominated Earth's predators. Zax observed, their spots glowing with newfound understanding. Instead, we're discovering they did something far more remarkable. They turned predators into family. The revelation would shake the foundations of xenobiological science, but it was only the beginning. The team was starting to realize that humanity's relationship with Earth's predators might hold the key to understanding humanity itself. The pack bond theory. Professor Alina Rossi's office at the Oxford Institute for Evolutionary Psychology was cluttered with a peculiar mix of ancient artifacts and modern holographic displays. The alien research team had sought her expertise after their revelations at the Canine Research Institute left them with more questions than answers. "You're not the first extraterrestrial researchers to be puzzled by human bonding behaviors," Elena said, adjusting her round glasses. "But you might be the first to recognize its true significance." Zach's 427 spots pulsed with academic excitement as they shared their findings. "We've observed humans forming deep emotional connections with species that should be their natural predators or prey. It defies evolutionary logic." "Does it?" Elena asked, pulling up a series of brain scans. "Look at these neural patterns. This is a human mother looking at her child. This is the same human looking at her dog. And this," she paused for effect, "is a human looking at a wild animal they've bonded with during rehabilitation." The patterns were strikingly similar. Nixus floated closer to the displays, their gravitic field fluctuating with surprise. "The neural responses are almost identical." "Exactly," Elena confirmed. "Humans have an extraordinary capacity for what we call pack bonding. We can form family-level emotional attachments to virtually any species under the right circumstances. It's not a bug in our psychology, it's a feature." Hilara's crystalline form sparkled with confusion. "But surely this would be maladaptive, forming emotional attachments to potential predators." "You would think so," Elena interrupted, standing to pace her office. "But this ability gave our ancestors a crucial advantage. We didn't just learn to avoid predators, we learned to understand them, and understanding led to cooperation." She gestured to a primitive cave painting showing humans hunting alongside wolves. "This capacity for cross-species bonding allowed us to turn some predators into allies. Those that couldn't be allies, we could better predict and avoid. It's not just about dominance, it's about integration." Ven's colony mind hummed thoughtfully. "This suggests humans have evolved to be xenophilic, predisposed to forming bonds across species barriers." "Precisely." Elena's eyes lit up. "Humans don't just tolerate other species, we actively seek connections with them. We see potential relationships everywhere. It's why we anthropomorphize everything from pets to robots to natural phenomena." She pulled up more data, showing human interactions with various species across history. "This trait has been crucial to our survival and development. We didn't just domesticate animals for food or labor, we created genuine social bonds that transformed both parties." Zax's spots formed patterns of deep consideration. "This could explain the behavioral modifications we observed in domesticated species. They weren't just selected for utility. They were selected for their ability to bond with us," Elena finished. "Dogs, for instance, developed specific cognitive abilities to read and respond to human emotions. It's a two-way street. We evolved to bond with them, and they evolved to bond with us." The implications began to dawn on the research team. Nixus's gravitic field pulsed with realization. If humans can form such bonds with predator species, then imagine the bonds we can form with sentient species, Elena said softly. "You're not just studying our relationship with Earth's predators. You're studying humanity's capacity for connection across any species barrier." She brought up new data, showing human responses to first contact scenarios in various fiction and theoretical models. "Our tendency to try to bond with and understand other species isn't limited to Earth life. It's a fundamental part of who we are." Hilara's crystalline form vibrated with a new understanding. "This could revolutionize xenological relations, a species predisposed to forming connections across biological barriers." "Which brings us to your presence here," Elena said, fixing each alien researcher with a knowing look. "Haven't you noticed how easily humans have accepted your team? How quickly they've shared information and formed working relationships with you?" The team fell silent, suddenly aware of their own experience. Humans had treated them not just as researchers, but as potential friends. Every expert they'd met had shown genuine enthusiasm for sharing knowledge and forming connections. Zax made a new entry in their research log. "Human pack bonding behavior appears to be a sophisticated evolutionary adaptation that transcends traditional species barriers. This trait, combined with their intelligence and tool use, may explain their unprecedented success in managing Earth's predator species. More significantly, it suggests humans may be uniquely suited for galactic community integration. Elena watched them process this revelation with a smile. You came to study how we dominated Earth's predators, but you're discovering something far more important. Humans didn't succeed by being the strongest or most aggressive species. We succeeded because we could turn competitors into companions and strangers into family. As the team prepared to leave, Elena offered one final observation. Consider this. In all our fiction about encountering alien life, humans consistently try to form bonds with them, even in scenarios where the aliens are clearly predatory. We can't help ourselves. We see every new species as a potential friend, ally, or family member. The implications of this revelation would extend far beyond their original research scope. Humanity's predisposition for cross-species bonding wasn't just a quirk of evolution. It was potentially one of the most important traits any species had developed in the history of the galaxy. The Galactic Perspective. The grand amphitheater of the Galactic Institute of Xenobiology hummed with anticipation. Representatives from hundreds of species filled the crystalline chamber, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of galactic diversity. At the center podium, Zach's 427 spots pulsed with nervous energy as they prepared to present their team's findings. Distinguished colleagues, Zach's began, their voice translated into dozens of languages simultaneously. When our team departed for Earth 6 months ago, we sought to understand how a seemingly vulnerable species had achieved dominance over their world's apex predators. What we discovered challenges every assumption we've held about species interaction and evolution itself. The holographic display behind them came to life, showing scenes from their research. Humans working with lions, bonding with dogs, rehabilitating injured predators. Each image drew murmurs from the assembled xenobiologists. Humanity's success isn't rooted in superior strength, speed, or natural weapons, Sachs continued. Instead, they'd developed something unprecedented in our galaxy's history: the ability to form genuine emotional and social bonds across species barriers. Clara stepped forward, her crystalline form reflecting the chamber's lights. Our conventional models of predator-prey relationships proved inadequate. Humans didn't simply dominate their world's predators. They created new categories of relationship entirely. The display shifted to show the neural scanning data from Professor Rossi's research. Nixes floated up to highlight key points. These scans reveal that humans form the same type of emotional attachments to other species that most beings reserve for their own kind. This trait appears to be deeply embedded in their evolutionary psychology. A senior researcher from the Rigelian Collective raised an appendage. But surely this makes them vulnerable. Emotional attachment to potential predators should be selected against by evolution. That's what we initially thought. Ven's colony mind responded. But this trait, combined with their intelligence and tool use, allowed them to transform potential threats into allies. More importantly, it gave them unprecedented insight into other species' behavior and needs. The display showed scenes of human children learning to interact with animals, demonstrating the instinctive nature of their cross-species bonding behavior. This isn't just learned behavior, Zachs explained. Humans are neurologically predisposed to seek connections with other species. They don't just tolerate difference, they're fascinated by it. The implications began to sink in across the chamber. A Centaurian philosopher-scientist rose to speak. If humans can form such bonds with non-sentient species. Exactly, Zachs confirmed, their spots forming patterns of emphasis. Their capacity for xenophilic bonding extends to all forms of life, including sentient species. Our own research team experienced this firsthand. Humans didn't just cooperate with us. They actively sought to form social and emotional connections. The chamber erupted in discussion. The ability to form genuine social bonds across species barriers was unprecedented in galactic history. Most species barely tolerated each other, maintaining diplomatic relations through careful protocols and cultural barriers. But the implications go further. Sachs continued once the chamber quieted. Humanity's success with Earth's predators suggests they possess a unique ability to transform competitive or potentially hostile relationships into cooperative ones. They don't just survive alongside dangerous species, they actively work to understand and connect with them. The holographic display showed historical data. Humans rehabilitating injured predators, protecting endangered species, even sacrificing their own safety to save animals that would naturally prey on them. Their drive to form cross-species bonds is so strong that they'll risk their lives to save creatures that could kill them. A diplomatic representative from the Arcturian hegemony stood. This could revolutionize interspecies relations. A species that instinctively seeks to understand and connect with others could be crucial to the future of galactic society. Sachs finished. Humanity's psychological predisposition for forming connections across species barriers makes them uniquely suited for diplomatic roles. They have millennia of experience turning potential enemies into allies. The presentation concluded with a startling recommendation that humanity be fast-tracked for fuller integration into galactic society. Their unique abilities could help bridge the cultural and biological gaps that have long divided our community, Sachs argued. They're not just another spacefaring species, they're potentially the key to achieving genuine galactic cooperation. As the chamber filled with excited discussion, Sachs made their final research log entry. What began as a study of predator-prey relationships has revealed something far more significant. Humanity's greatest strength isn't their ability to dominate other species, it's their ability to form genuine connections with them. In a galaxy often divided by biological and cultural differences, humans' instinctive drive to understand and bond with other species may be exactly what we need. The implications would reshape galactic society. Humans, once viewed as an oddity from a death world, were suddenly being considered for crucial roles in interspecies relations. Their unique ability to form bonds across species barriers wasn't just a quirk of evolution. It was potentially one of the most important traits any species had developed since the rise of sentient life. As the assembly moved to vote on the recommendation, Sachs's spots pulsed with satisfaction. They had come to study how humans dominated predators, only to discover that humanity's true strength lay not in domination, but in connection. In a galaxy full of species that saw only competitors or prey, humans had evolved to see potential family in every form of life they encountered. The vote was unanimous. Humanity would be welcomed into the galactic community not just as another member species, but as potential bridges between all forms of life. Their unique ability to form genuine bonds across species barriers would transform them from curiosities into crucial players in the future of galactic civilization.